Deconverted Man here. Well, it's a whole new year. Time to make a lot of videos with a lot of logical fallacies being counted in them. First, I gotta finish up the Karm Harm 3 series. Put up the 1 Minute Skeptics that I've got waiting to be put up. And then I'm done, right? There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing left to do. Or is there? Of course, there's always going to be bad logic out there. And theology just seems to be a never-ending well of horrible, bad logic. So, don't worry. There's much more to come. But until then, I wanted to address a couple of things that have recently kind of popped up, if you will, as of late. So, there's a couple of words that one of them has been around, the other one sort of has been around, I don't know. Igtheist and aproleptic. I'm not going to pronounce that right, so I'm just going to put the words in the description box below, and you can look them up on your own. So, igtheist is somebody who thinks the whole concept of God or gods is incoherent. So that's it. There's no possibility of even having a dialogue about it because it's a non-thing. And an aproleptic is basically a theological noncognativist. So same thing, maybe on a different level. This book has been published, and one YouTuber saw it and is already basing their comments off of it, and another YouTuber has seen it, read the book rather, and made a video about it, and so it's getting some attention, so I'll give it attention. Now, I haven't read it yet, but I will at some point. So it's called The Problem with God: Why Atheists, True Believers, and even Agnostics Must All Be Wrong, by Peter Stenberg. Now, this is promoting the igtheist, or the other word that I can't pronounce, idea. We have what amounts to a nonsensical word, as if I said blurger, and I'm asking you whether or not blurger exists. And so the correct response is, I don't know, or what's that? And not, no, I don't believe it exists. At least that's what so far the feeling, the sort of underlying push of the people that are have read this book and are now trying to promote this idea are, I think, kind of using. And it's almost like they're trying to troll everyone, like, ha ha ha, you're wrong, and you're wrong, ha ha, everyone's wrong except for us, because we figured this out, ha ha ha. And it's all about playing on natural language. There's plenty of plays on this with words. You know, you have the heap of sand paradox, where a grain of sand doesn't make a heap. So you take a grain of sand off of the heap, it's still a heap of sand, and you keep doing this and keep doing this. At what point does it cease to be a heap? It can't. But eventually there's no more heap because you took away all the grains of sand. So where did it go? You can't take it away, but you did. But, you know, and or balding, you know, you're going bald. Well, why? I lost one hair. Is that going bald? Is that, what is going bald, or and so all these different sort of words that we use, that we think that we really have a grasp on the word and we can look up the dictionary definition. There's a problem though. Every word that we have is described by more words. So if you did not know any words, what would you do? Like, if all words had no meaning to you, well, you couldn't have a conversation then, right? Language is a complex issue. And I'm reminded of a bit in Star Trek The Next Generation with Data. Almost said Data. That's not his name. Data in the Descent Part 1 experiences emotion. And so he says, I felt angry. And Geordi says, well, how do you know that it's anger versus just something glitching in your system? And so Data asks Geordi to explain what it's like to be angry. And Geordi uses different words, different feelings, and Data says, explain it without referring to other feelings. I just feel angry. And Data's like, I just felt angry. There's no way to describe it in a coherent fashion. Does that mean that anger has no meaning and thus that word doesn't really mean anything? In fact, couldn't this apply to every word, not just the word God, but all words in their entirety? Define the word "and" without using any other words. You can't do it. So it's impossible with any word. But the word "and" is really hard to define. What the bleep is it? And I did whatever. A-N-D. Define it. Well, here's the dictionary. You can define it, but what is it? Try to describe it to somebody that's never encountered it. It's going to be awfully difficult. It's probably why learning other languages increases your intelligence or enhances your ability to understand things or something like that. But therein lies what I think this is all about. Igtheist and whatever that word, I can't say it. It's just another way to not believe in God. That's all. It's just another title to add if you want. I'm a skeptic, so I am an apocalypse and an atheist and an atheist and all these other things. Because I encounter this word God and I don't know what do you mean by that? Sometimes I'll say that, but not every time, because I assume that they have a preconceived notion of what God is already, because they are the ones presenting the idea to me. So if I say Zuma to you, and I say, do you believe in Zuma? And you assume that I know what I'm talking about, I think it's okay, at least within natural language and the way that we converse with each other, to say, I don't believe in Zuma. Because you've never heard of it, because I haven't defined it, because you don't know what it is. And there is no hard and fast rule with how you must respond to my question. But let's just say that enough people have defined Zuma to where it's become a common word, and and one so that it's safer to assume that, oh, I know what you mean by Zuma. No, I don't believe in that. Well, that's a special knowledge, isn't it? To assume that you know what they are meaning by that word? Yes. And in natural language issue that logic can't do anything about, by the way, there's no solving this problem. We assume things about words and intentions all the time. Now, if we were to get into a formal debate, now we need to define the terms. We need to make sure that both people understand this term that we're going to be debating before we even begin the debate, because I don't want to assume anything about your side, and you shouldn't want to assume anything about my side. So I want to debate about Zuma. Great. What's Zuma? Up to me to define. And if I just go, well, I don't know, what do you think Zuma is? And you go, I don't know, you're the one that wants to debate it. Okay, so we can't have a debate about it. Alright, now what? So is there a Zuma? No. Well, I don't know. But my point was, you have to say I don't know whenever anyone asks you about Zuma. Then let's debate that. And we're right back where we started. So if God is similar to this, and if people start becoming attracted to this idea, I fear that we will get a slew of trolls that aren't interested in logic, they're not interested in debate, they're interested in being right. Ha ha ha, we've outsmarted everybody by using natural language problems. The word God, the word Zuma, doesn't have any meaning, so you can't believe in it, you can't not believe in it, you can't say that no one can know what it is, you can't do anything about it because it's nonsense. Ha 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 ha. I win all debates, and I will never have to debate it ever, or debate this idea ever, because there's no meaning to it, which needs a debate for that. But I won't do that either, because I've already won before I even begin. It's presuppositionalism, word play salad of the, or something, I don't know. So, I'm not interested in that. If you are into this groove set of wanting to say theists and atheists are wrong, you have to be an igtheist, or you have to be an aproleptic, or whatever, I'm not interested in you. I have no interest in that. Zero. Zip, zilch, nada. Unless you present some sort of logically coherent argument. And if you're unwilling or unable to do that, then I could care less about this. It's just another label, and those labels apply to me just as much as skeptic or atheist would, and I'm not interested. The word God is defined by many, 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 many people, and I agree that no definition of God, as far as I know, has an epistemology that is logically coherent. But they do have epistemologies to them. There are arguments for it, and there's ways to try to define it. But you can't define something into existence. So the question, does God exist? And here's this concept of God that I've given you, and I agree to that concept. We're really debating, does that concept exist in the real world with the rest of us and not just in our brains? I think it just exists as a concept in our brains. Believers in God tend to think and believe and assert that God is out here with the rest of us. Although, if you pay attention to the definitions of gods, they're actually outside the universe, beyond space and time. So they're not really here with us. They're not anywhere at all. They're so far beyond our reach that how would we ever know that they're there at all? So that is incomprehensible. That is illogical. That is a non-idea that I have agreed to debate because I want to expose it as being logically flawed. And if I was to take the track of the plausibilistic or perhaps even the igtheist, although I haven't heard igtheists do this sort of everyone's wrong bit, then rather than exposing the illogic, I'd just be like, well, that just is nonsense. And that would be the end of the conversation. That doesn't enhance anything, and it doesn't help us move forward. The fact of the matter is, people believe in a thing called God. Different people have different concepts of what that is to them. And yes, we shouldn't assume what they mean by God. And yes, it is good to ask them, what God, or what do you mean by God? But sometimes we assume, and I think that's okay too, to some extent, as long as you're not doing it in an actual formal debate. It's a conversation, and the rules are looser, and it can be forgiven, I think. If we're in a debate, totally different. Not in a debate, just in a conversation, not so different. Okay. That's all that. And if anyone wants to debate me on this, of course I'm always open to debate, but you're gonna have to tell me. But we're gonna wind up agreeing. That's the weird thing about this. I'm gonna agree that God is a non-thing, and I still don't believe in it. And you're gonna try to say that my not believing it doesn't make sense to you because it's not a thing. Well, I think it's perfectly logical to not believe in Zuma if I refuse to define Zuma, or if I define Zuma in such a way that nobody could think that it's coherent. I think it's reasonable to doubt and thus not believe until given empirical evidence or repeatable tests and or logically coherent argument. And I'll stand by that, and I'll debate that point. The second thing to start off the new year is a troll. Oh, deck the halls with trolls. Oh, la 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 troll. A troll has come to my video promoting Cite an Atheist's mug and said words at me. I looked at his channel and I was amused. They obviously desperately want my attention. I offered to debate them. Something that would get them a lot of attention to their YouTube channel, which has very few subscribers so far. They won't debate me. So, okay, you don't... I don't care about you. You don't want to debate? Fine. I guess maybe in their own trollish way they want me to analyze one of their videos, which would also give them some attention. So I'm not going to do that. They're wrong. Every single one of their videos is wrong and full of logical fallacies. But not going to give them attention because they're a coward and they don't want to debate me. So I will not analyze any of their videos. And if they keep trolling me, I will eventually block them. So, that's it. If you come to my channel and you're like, haha, you're wrong, fine, I don't care. Yeah, and where's your argument? Hi, I'm not gonna make one. or you're just gonna text warrior at me, I'm not interested in text debates. That's why I'm on YouTube. I did text debates on debatingchristianity.com under the name Play Havoc. I did that. I'm done with that. I've graduated. I'm on the next level now. If you want to debate me on my channel. It's going to be fair. It's going to have structure. We're going to agree to the definitions. We're going to have a topic that's coherent. We're going to have a topic that was negotiated in a transparent way. The moderator will be a Christian. My brother, who believes in God, will be the moderator of the debate. There is no more fair way that I can do this. I won't do it on your channel because I have seen those debates and I have seen how the atheist tends to get the short end of the stick. I won't do that to you. Now you might think, well, of course you will, because you're an atheist. I don't trust you. Well, every debate I've had has been fair, and most of them have been video versus video debates. One of the most interesting is the one where I debated a guy. He went on for like an hour plus on his rebuttal, and that rebuttal is gone. So my side is still up, and his side isn't. I guess I should have downloaded it and uploaded it on my channel so that it would have been preserved. And any other video versus video debate that I have, I think I'll do that. I'll download their rebuttal videos and I'll put them on my channel. That way they can't take them down later and decide that they want to hide, which is something, you know, we've seen. But I have no interest in text debating. I have no more interest in that. I've done that. I'm done with that. So if you want to debate me, you can do it live. Google Hangouts will enable us to do that, and the transparency on the negotiation before the debate will happen on Google+. So it'll be shared to everybody, public and my circles, of this is the negotiation between me and this person for this debate. I've tried it twice, and twice the other person has chickened out. So I'm waiting. You want to debate me? Great. But it's going to be fair, and it's going to be modded, and it's going to be, it's you know, it's going to be a thing. It's not going to be text debate. I'm not interested. It's not going to be I'm right and I don't have an argument. I have zero interest in that. And if that's what you're going to come and try to do on my channel, I'm going to just consider you a troll, and you're going to get to say some stuff until I'm bored of you, and I will warn you once to cut it out, and if you keep doing it, then I'll block you. It's just that simple. I want to engage and be intellectually honest, or attempt to be intellectually honest. And if you're too afraid to do that, then don't waste my time. I'm Deconverted Man. My friends call me Dan Green. Everyone else calls me Deconverted Man. Unless and until we have a logically coherent argument, we must continue to be skeptical of the conclusions. Happy New Year.